I want to welcome everyone. We have a small group here tonight, but we're excited to have you here. I am showing actually a video from this past winter when we had two of our alumni that were live with us doing a session about the School of Management. So I hope you're all here for that session. And I am thrilled to welcome all of you on behalf of Binghamton University to learn what some of our alumni are working on.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Happy Saturday. My name is Kimberly Stahl. I graduated from Binghamton in 2013 with a dual degree in accounting and English literature. And then I stayed on for another year to do my MBA in a fast track program. So I graduated in 2014 with my MBA with a concentration in management information systems. I joined Corning Incorporated in 2014. So I've been here ever since. I currently am the product line manager in the Automotive Glass Solutions Group for Automotive Exteriors Glass. So if you're familiar with Corning Incorporated, we produce Gorilla Glass. So you may have it on your cell phones, your TVs, your computer screens. So trying to put Gorilla Glass that you have on your consumer electronic devices onto a windshield, a side window or a roof or backlight. So really exciting, really fun. And I'm surprised about in my current role, how much the SOM school has really prepared me for what I'm doing. So really exciting stuff. I touch on everything from marketing, supply chain, finance, demand forecasting. So it's really everything that's been applicable for my time at SOM for my current role.
Excellent. And we will hear more from Kim as we get to some questions. I will also let Brandon, our second School of Management alumni, introduce himself to all of you. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning. Not as snowy as Mountain View College right now in your background, but we still have some snow where I am. So I'm Brandon. I graduated in 2017 with a degree in accounting and a concentration in finance. During my tenure at Binghamton, was involved in a lot of school of management activities, such as PwC Scholars, which is an honors program in the business school, Dean's mentoring program, a mentoring program for some underclassmen, and then a lot of case competitions within Finance Society. So the mergers and acquisitions case, the CFA Institute Research Challenge. And during my tenure at Binghamton was kind of interested in careers at the intersection of both accounting and finance. So I did a lot of internships at the nexus of both of them, but eventually ended up deciding to do something a little bit untraditional, and I took a job at Facebook in the San Francisco office, where I've been now for the past 3.5 years. So I started my tenure at Facebook on the finance team, working in an FP&A role, so helping teams manage headcount and budgets. Then I've since transitioned for the past 2.5 years into our business operations team. This is our team focused on product strategy and monetization across some of our newer initiatives. So I spent a year working on Oculus, which is our virtual reality team. Not sure if anyone here has tried VR, but it's a really immersive, exciting experience, really early days in that technology. And then for the past 1.5 years, I've been involved with Novi, which is Facebook's digital wallet on the blockchain network. So building new experiences to help people have more access to financial services globally. So that's a bit about me.
Excellent. Thank you, Brandon. So before we get into the questions that we have prepared for our panelists, just want to let those in attendance know that the chat function on your Zoom window has been turned off. But if you do have any questions, you can click on the Q&A. As I do have a colleague of mine, Janae, who will be answering those questions for you. And we will save some time at the end of this short little session where we may be able to ask some of your questions live. Pardon me as I move my cat out of the way. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask them right in that Q&A section. So I'll just throw the first question out, and Kim, if you would like to answer first, what was your favorite memory of Binghamton University? If you had to pick one, what would that be?
I think all of the events on campus to get ready for a career fair, or all of the opportunities to network. It was really exciting because there was so much, especially in the beginning of the year, because there was just so much going on. You met so many of the other students, so many of the other faculties. You really built a good network. So I think all the events that SOM holds for career events and being open and encouraging students to meet, I think that really helped me build a lot of friendships and relationships with the school and with my fellow students. So I think that was one of the best memories. It really pushed you to interact with other people, really preparing you for a role in a corporate setting.
Sure, absolutely. Brandon, how about yourself?
Yeah, mine's similar on that vein. So one of the coolest opportunities I had at Binghamton was what's called the Ignite competition, which I think still exists. It's a fundraising event and a recruiting event in which the PwC Scholars Program helped host and manage. And I was my freshman year, I was on the committee, and then my junior year, I became the director of the event. And this was really exciting because not only are we helping students better interact with employers, but we're raising money for the community. And we raised $10,000. And what was really special is the friendships I made on that committee, the impact that I saw happen in the community, because a lot of times in professional settings, you're going to a career fair, handing your resume, and it's a bit uncomfortable, a 30-second elevator pitch. And what our event was about is a bit more of an organic way for students to showcase their skills in real time with critical thinking, communication, teamwork with professionals of companies they're interested in. So that was a really exciting event that we got to do in SOM that I think was really rewarding for me personally with friendships and leadership that I got.
Great. Excellent. Now, Brandon, I know you talked about this a little bit as you introduced yourself, but can you describe, and Kim, you can do as well, what were some different clubs and activities that you did at Binghamton that, may have been part of SOM, but maybe outside of SOM as well, since we do have a very robust clubs and activities at Binghamton?
Sure. So I'll jump in first on the non-SOM activities I did. So I was involved with student government during my time at Binghamton. So I lived in Mountain View College, which again, I really am reflecting on seeing your background here. I was involved with Mountain View College Council, which is the student organization managing the funds and activities for Mountain View. So I was the treasurer. So that was one activity. And then actually my roommates, when I was a senior or junior, were involved with the student association. And I became more involved in that and actually was a secretary. So that was one experience I had, was the student association. I ended up actually doing help with some friends organizing a fraternity towards my end of my junior year. So that was a bit of a different experience than what you learn in the classroom and experiential settings in SOM, but that was a good flavor for me. And then within SOM, a lot of finance society, as I mentioned, a lot of the case competitions that they manage and organize, and a lot of the mentoring programs offered.
Great. Excellent. Kim, what about you? What clubs and activities may you have been involved in, either in SOM or outside of SOM?
So I was involved in Colleges Against Cancer. So I was the vice president for that group. I led the Relay for Life event on campus. So we pulled in a bunch of sports teams, student organizations and clubs, and we would spend a night in the gym. So it was a great event, really honed down on my leadership skills, but really got to meet all types of people with all different experiences. So it's great to have an event that you really planned for the whole year, and then you got to just share all of your success with everyone across the campus. I was also a SOM peer advisor, so we had a lot of interactions with the students and the teachers and the faculty. So that was a great opportunity to meet more of the SOM students and really help them out with picking their classes, picking their courses, and helping them prepare for career events.
Excellent. It's funny how your experiences with even non-SOM clubs and activities still had an impact on your education and probably helped you get to where you are today. So, even getting involved in fun social things such as College Against Cancer, you're still developing a lot of leadership skills and that will really help impact, your future and what you currently do. Switching gears a little, what can you describe for us or tell us about your favorite professor that you had here at Binghamton and why they are your favorite? Again, might be difficult to choose one, but if you can choose one of your favorite professors, who would that be and why?
I can go first. Professor Dina Leish stands out. She is very honest and open and really pushes you to do your best with finance. So she was a great person to reach out to. She always had an open door. So I really appreciate how much she cared for the students and making sure we were understanding what was going on in the course, and she was always there to help.
Great.
Yeah, you stole my thunder again. I would say Leish, but I'll speak to another professor because if she's listening, I'm sure she'd want me to say her name too. I really enjoyed Ryan Vaughn's English class. I think that's a favorite for a lot of people at Binghamton. Just the varied perspective that class fosters. So for everyone's context, it's the one I took was kind of like cinematic themes in action. So seeing different films in history and like how you could pull out different themes such as like understanding like cinematography, like is there racism prevalent? Like what's the purpose behind the film? I think just thinking through that lens was really helpful. And I actually took another cinema class as a result, and I really enjoyed cinema.
Excellent. And that's one of the nice things too about Binghamton is yes, both of you were in the School of Management, but you were able to experience different coursework outside of the School of Management, needing to complete general education requirements. And also if there's just any classes you have an interest in taking, you definitely can do that. For internships, obviously we know School of Management students do have the opportunity, if not mandatory, to do internships. Can you tell us about your internship experiences that you had here at Binghamton? Whoever would like to go first, Kim, we'll start with you if that's okay.
Okay, I can go first. Yes, so I had one internship that I did remote over the summer, but the internship that stands out the most is my time with Corning Incorporated. So this was basically the last credit I needed to finish up my MBA. And so it was an internship in corporate IT, linking to my management information systems concentration. And so it really gave me the opportunity to understand the back-end IT processes of Corning. And it really gave me the opportunity to have some time to live in Corning and get to know the people and the community. So that helped me find my spot and my role in Corning full time. So I did my internship and they hired me full time once my internship was finished, as it was my last credit for my degree. So I would say Corning did stand out. It really motivated me, and I love the people that I worked with, the projects that I were on, and I've been here ever since. So it's about 7 years now. So I'm really happy here.
Thank goodness for that internship. That's, and that's one of the things that happens. A lot of your internships, internship experiences can help you lead to full-time employment. In Kim's case, that definitely led to that. Brandon, how about you?
Yeah, so I started my internship journey really early. I was fortunate in high school that one of the local employers was hiring high school interns. Like who does that, right? So I did a large range of internships in which during that journey, so working at a medical distribution company in their corporate finance group. I did an internship at Goldman Sachs supporting their equities trading division. Externship with Jefferies, which is actually offered, I think they've changed the name, but it's offered through the school through Professor Leish, and then a summer internship in investment banking. So during that journey, my journey was kind of figuring out what I like and dislike and going through those phases of like trial and error, right? I think internships is a great proxy to see if you want to do a job full time. And I learned through each of these internships things I like and dislike. And over time, you're able to piece it together, your story, to figure out what skills do you want, what's the right culture you're hoping to get, which eventually helped me make my decision a bit more clearer that I think it was a better fit working in technology for me, at least personally, just like personality wise, like and the skill set and the culture that it cultivates. So that was something that was really helpful. But during that journey, S1 was super helpful in terms of like engaging with alumni networks and learning how to network, getting ready for interviews through mock interviews that are offered through career services and other organizations. So that was really helpful.
Excellent. And actually, Brandon, you touch upon kind of my next question is, as you know, SOM has its own career services office dedicated to helping the School of Management students. Can you describe maybe your involvement with the School of Management Career Services and how they were able to prepare you for once you were ready to graduate from Binghamton?
Yeah, so most of my engagement was probably when I was an underclassman. So one of the best features of the business school is bringing in kind of alumni that are visiting campus and enabling students to interact with them, or like have a executive residence, I think is what they called it when I was there. So this is like a 15-30-minute session with one of these alumni. So when I was a freshman, I kind of raised my hand for all these, try to hear and learn perspective from as many people. And then when I was an upperclassman, helping with certain events and engagements, such as maybe helping someone prepare for an interview, a resume critique, things of that sort.
Excellent. Kim, were you able to connect at all with the Career Services Office, part of School Management?
Yeah, I reached out to them for support with my resume, building my elevator speech, preparing for interviews. Even post-college, they helped me do a benchmark for what my starting salary should be. So they're always open, whether or not you're a current student or a past student, to provide support and guidance. So I think the long-term connections with the career services is critical. And they're always willing to help. So keep that in mind as you join Binghamton.
Excellent. So as you reflect back on your time at Binghamton and the School of Management, what do you think was the biggest surprise that you experienced as being part of the School of Management that maybe you weren't expecting? What was that maybe surprise hidden gem that you didn't think about would be there?
I could jump in first here. I think for me, it was how collaborative everything is. Most of your coursework, you're graded on like group projects and assignments. So I think I was really surprised how within the curriculum, it was so focused on how do you act as a team? Are you able to build a project with random people that you're assigned, or are you pre-selecting people on your team? I think it's a little frustrating in that moment where you're not able to pick your friends to work on an assignment, but I think it's so rewarding to figure out what role in the team you want to have, whether you want to be the leader, facilitator, just a contributor. So every coursework from freshman to senior year, it's a lot of cases, it's a lot of team-oriented assignments, and I think it's really helpful. But it was a little bit surprising to me, where you think like you're going to college, focus on reading from a textbook, but I think that real-world simulation through team assignments is really helpful to learn what kind of role you want to have on a team, what your skills are, and where do you want to learn, but also like how to manage conflict and situations that arise.
Excellent. Kim,
I agree with Brandon. The team assignments, you're really put into a real life kind of situation because it's different personalities. You're trying to meet a deadline, and you're trying to satisfy all the different areas of marketing, of finance, of strategy. So you're really put in a position where a business case could be applied to your actual career. Another thing is just the curriculum. It really touches on everything. As I said before, for me as a product line manager, I really do have to build a value proposition for my product. I have to understand the supply chain and logistics, the finance impact, the gross margin impact to our final bottom line. So the courses that they kind of package, or at least guide you along your years in SOM, really do help you in your actual career. So when I look back at the courses I've taken at Binghamton and what I do now, the link and how they connect really does surprise me, because Binghamton did prepare me for a lot of what I do today.
Sure. Absolutely. So looking at the attendees that registered, most of them, if not all of them, are first year students. So they're going to be coming out of high school, starting in college for the first time. What were some of the things, if you can think back and reflect back when you were first going to start Binghamton, because I believe both of you were first year students. What was something that you were worried about starting college, that once you got here, you realized, I didn't have to worry about that? I'll give you a second to reflect, because that's a very heavy question, especially on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, I think my retrospective is something that I wish I knew, more or less, of like the pursuit of a 4.0 GPA, more or less. Maybe some parents listening are not too fond of this idea, but it's basically the incremental decision you have to make in college about your personal activities, your professional engagements, your coursework. and the pursuit of a 4.0 versus like getting a 3.9. I think there isn't much of a difference. And I put a lot of stress on myself to be perfect in everything. And I think it's really important not to be, to make sure you're really well-rounded and getting all the skill sets that you're hoping to get out of college. I think looking back, there's never a time to have so much proximity to people, education, and knowledge in your life. For me now, like I actually caught up with a few friends from Binghamton last night, and they're living in Boston. And like I might be able to see them in person for a long time, absent COVID, right? So being able to take full advantage of everything Binghamton has to offer, I'd prioritize that over getting that perfect 4.0 GPA in every class.
Sure. Excellent. Thank you.
That's definitely a good point. For me, I'll be honest. I was not a very good studier in high school. So I didn't study that often, but my grades worked out well. When I got to college, the concept of studying with hanging out with friends, I definitely did not manage it well. So I think that was the biggest, looking back, if I could have studied, if I had learned how to study better and more, I think that would have really helped me out. But the point about being able to make use of the time you have at Binghamton with all your friends and all the people that you get to meet, I would definitely encourage that as well, because lasting friendships, yeah, that's been 7 years out of college. My friends from college have been my best friends now.
Sure, absolutely. And, I agree. I did not attend Binghamton. I attended a different SUNY institution. And Kim, I think you're absolutely right. The people you meet in college end up really being your best friends. I still am in contact with the majority, if not all of my friends I met at my undergrad institution. I've been involved in their weddings. I've celebrated the births of their children. You really create your lifelong friends. And that's something I don't think many students realize when you go to college, that, you have your high school friends and they're still going to be there, but you all get dispersed everywhere. In college, you are experiencing a lot of the same things at just such a different level. And you're there to bond. And I think that definitely happens. Now, the last question, looking at the time, I want to make sure we, are cognizant of that. And you may have already touched a little upon this, but I'll give you an opportunity in case there's anything additional. What advice would you give to an incoming or prospective BU student looking to come to Binghamton in general and specifically School of Management? Whoever would like to jump in first, go right ahead.
I think the one advice. The one advice is that you'll be surprised at how many people are willing to help you out, and how many, faculty, even non-faculty to SOM, everyone's willing to help, even the community. So don't feel afraid to reach out if you're struggling with grades or struggling to meet friends. There's a club, there is an organization out there that can fit what you're interested or your personality. So Binghamton is large enough, and the community that the school encourages, you will find something. And so I say just be comfortable, think outside the box, push your limits, and you'll find something that makes you happy. You'll find friendships. And if you really try to open yourself up, you'll be very happy at Binghamton.
Excellent. Sage advice. Brandon.
Yeah, similar idea. I think going outside your comfort zone, taking advantage of all the clubs and activities there. I think as a freshman, it's really important to immerse yourself from day one. Try something you never thought you would do. I became a big cycler since I've been living in San Francisco. Like imagine I took a cycling club as a freshman or participated in an activity like that. I think just really going outside your comfort zone is a great idea to start. I think specifically to Binghamton, something I wish I did more was explore the community around you. It's beautiful. I explored it through a lot of the restaurants nearby in downtown Binghamton, but even just going on a trip to Ithaca to go on a hike or do some of the activities in upstate New York, it's a really nice place. And I didn't have a car, so I obviously had to rely on friends to do that. But when you're an upperclassman or even just as a underclassman, just learning and getting immersed in the community and really understanding what Binghamton's about, how you can help contribute. and just really taking advantage of it.
Excellent. So we just have a few minutes left. So if you have any questions for any of the for the panelists, you can go ahead and ask them in that Q&A section, and we will go ahead and ask and answer those live.
And I just want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. If you do have any additional questions, I'm happy to answer those here. It's been a pleasure to have you here at the session. And if there are no additional questions, we will end the information session. Thank you so much for joining us to learn a little bit more about our School of Management.